welcome to my channel. So I'm really excited about this video today. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, which is anti-aging tips. This is something that has been requested with me from many different people on Instagram, YouTube, and I always think about doing it. I did make a video back maybe about a year ago, and it was more on the anti-aging gadgets, skin gadgets and things, but this is more of an all-around 8 different tips that I have with a bonus at the end with products that I use and things that I'm going to add into this video that I have really done. So my number one tip, of course, if anybody has seen my videos before, I really believe highly in the raw vegan diet, and one of the reasons why I stopped eating things like meat 30 years ago is because I feel like things like that are really aging on the body because of the fact that they're not digested as easily as fruits and vegetables are. So that's one reason why I always kind of believed that eating more raw fruits and vegetables were anti-aging. But in the raw vegan diet, where you're not adding all of these other things like dairy and things that are mucus forming, things that don't digest very easily into the body, that when things are moving through the body, well, you can really absorb all these wonderful nutrients and different colors and green leafy vegetables. And I just think that this is the most anti-aging possibly that you can do for a diet or a lifestyle. So that's my number one tip. So my number 2 anti-aging tip added to the raw vegan diet is to start adding juices and start doing more juicing. I think that green juices, the skin just absolutely loves green juices. And I did a video once on all of the different greens and how good they are for your skin, but also adding those colors in, particularly the beta carotene is good for the sunspots, and people will go out and they'll spend money on all these creams and things. And one of the other things that help is to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar on the spots. But I think that the beta carotene in the carrots and the beets and adding things like different colored peppers and everything to your juices can really give you good anti-aging effects. And the carrots, if you do carrots a couple times a week, it'll even give you a little bit of a natural tan. And I've had people tell me that I look tan sometimes, and I think it's because of the juicing, the carrots and things. So I try to add a variety of all of these things. Of course, I love the greens. That's what really gives you a glow. But all of these different colors is why I always say drink the rainbow. So my number 3 anti-aging tip is to not eat late at night. Not to eat late in the day even, and eat as soon as you possibly can, and give yourself at least 3 hours, preferably 4, before going to sleep. And a lot of people don't understand. I'm very strict about this. Like, I can't stress this enough. And so there's a few reasons why I think that this is very anti-aging to do this. For one thing, you're fasting, and fasting is very anti-aging. But another thing is that when your body is digesting food all night, you're really not getting adequate sleep. And if you need to get your rest, which is another really important thing that we all need, is proper sleep, you're not going to be getting that when you're eating late at night, because your body normally in the day hours, when you are walking around, exercising and working and doing all of these things, it takes you about 4 actual hours to digest all of your food on a regular day. But when you're sleeping at night and your body is not in movement, it takes even longer. So you figure that if you're sleeping for 8 hours, and it's going to take twice as long as that 4 hours to digest food. That means that you're digesting food all night long, and your body's really not getting the adequate rest. So that's another reason why it's so anti-aging to not eat late at night, and to give your body that time to get that adequate rest. But there's just so many reasons why I think that eating late at night is just really bad for the skin. So if you want to age quicker, that's the best way to do it, is to eat late at night. I really am big on this. I will not do it. I will not eat past a certain time. So I'm very strict about these anti-aging tips, but this is one of my real big ones. So that is my number 3 for anti-aging. 4 tip is getting enough rest. Getting adequate sleep. We talked about not eating late at night, of course, because you'll be digesting all night and you won't get enough sleep. Another good way to get good sleep is to have the room as dark as possible, which is why I use one of these silly masks that people may laugh at. But years ago, in the older movies, you would see women doing it and you would be like, why are they doing that? But actually, there is science behind the blacker the room, the more that you can get adequate sleep. And, you know, if there's a little bit of light in the room, it somehow interferes with your sleep. But also resting, and whether it's walking in nature and sitting outside or taking a break, rest is very powerful. And don't underestimate the power of rest and proper rest, because even when you're working, and say you work an 8-hour day, think about after you've been working 4 hours and you've not gotten to stop and take a break. Think about how rejuvenated you feel when you finally take that half an hour break. Whether you're just sitting in the lunchroom and just looking at your phone, or whether you're just meditating or praying. I don't really meditate, I pray. But whatever it is that you do to really relax, think about how that helps you to get through that next 4 hours of the day. And that's how powerful it is. So don't underestimate it, and get plenty of rest. And that's tip number 4. Next tip is lymphatic drainage and the lymphatic system. I think that the lymphatic system isn't really talked about enough. I think that it's something that's very important, and is very important in general, but it's really important for anti-aging. That as we age, our lymphatic system really slows down quite a bit. And we need to do things to kind of stimulate it. So one of the things that I do is rebounding, and I've talked about that, and I use a dry brush before getting in the shower a couple of times a week. That's another way of moving the lymphatic system. But I also, for the face, use a lot of facial manipulations for lymphatic drainage. And I think that it's very anti-aging for wrinkles, for puffiness. And, you know, you can do this by using just your hands. You can also use things like a gua sha. I have 2 different kinds of gua shas. One is gemstone and one is rose quartz. And I also have this amethyst thing that you can use underneath your eyes, which is very, very depuffing. This really helps. And, you know, of course, when people see these gadgets, they think, oh, well, does running that stuff across your face really do anything? Well, not in general. If you're just not adding all these other things to your diet and your life, and you're not really understanding what you're doing, it may not seem like it works, but actually it really does work. And I love to use these on the jaw area, because I really feel that this does sculpt the jawline a lot, and that you get great lymphatic drainage from using these tools. Even your sinuses, okay? When our sinuses are really puffy, and you get that feeling like your eyes are watering, puffy, all that kind of stuff, that this can really help. And sometimes I just like to take this and massage around these areas where your sinuses are, and then at the end you can really drain down, and you will then need to drink a lot of water, which is another big anti-aging thing, is to drink lots of water. I didn't add that into my 8 tips, but these are all ways of moving things through the system, and I really feel that everything that is moved through the system keeps the body young. So my number 7 tip, which is my favorite thing to talk about, is face yoga and massage. So both of these really work, and they're both different. Using facial yoga is more for the muscle, and it really helps to tighten the muscles. So you have to remember, and I know also that this is a controversial subject, that a lot of people don't believe in this. They don't believe in face yoga, but I do. I've been doing it for many years, and I know that it works. You do have to know how to do the moves, because you don't want to add wrinkles. You want to reduce them. And you want to sculpt, you want to do these things with your neck so that you can keep a nice firm neck. There are neck exercises, there are exercises for the jawline, exercises for the cheekbones, forehead, eyes, everything. I'm a person who believes in using the entire body and all the systems of the body. I don't think that one thing works without the other. I do exercises for my eyes, where I look up and down and from side to side, and this one facial yoga workout, they use some of that in there, and I think that that's really important. I also do this Gary Sikorsky, and I have talked about this in another video where I was talking about all the gadgets that I use and the different things that I do, and people will ask me the names of these different videos and people, and I can't always remember, but those are some of the things that I do. And I firmly believe that the muscle underneath the skin, that we do have skin that we have to keep really well and rejuvenated, and drink lots of water and moisture, and all of those things are important. But I do really feel that we have muscles underneath the skin, and that if the muscles under the skin aren't tight and good, then some of the skin will sag. And as we age, we do start to get where we lose that kind of elasticity, that look of just firmness. So also the facial yoga, not yoga, the massage is so good for the skin also. It also can help you feel grounded to do this facial massage, to do things on your forehead, like this particular move, using oils and things. If you feel like you're all over the place, that could really ground you. So it's also very restful to do a lot of these massages and things. But it's good for the drainage. It's good to get rid of that puffiness. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning and you feel puffy, particularly if you ate late at night, you will feel even worse. That these are ways to really try to help to drain a lot of this stuff, to lift a lot of these things. The facial massages where you kind of do these moves, it really helps to lift the skin, along with the gua sha, which I've talked about, using this on the neckline, the jawline. All of these things are things that I do on a regular basis. These are my anti-aging tips. Number 8 anti-aging tip is to just get exercise somehow or another. Now, I believe in a realm of things when it comes to exercise. I believe that you need cardio. It's not only good for your heart, but it does kind of get your blood pumping, and this will put blood and circulation to your face, to your entire body. It'll make you feel terrific. but you also need to add more weight bearing. As we get older, it's, I think, more important to add more weight bearing exercises to our life, and lots of stretching. So for women that are of age, me being one of them, you know, when you're in your 20s and 30s, something like this I'm going to suggest in just a minute might not be so important. But to people when you start getting, particularly into your later 40s and up into your 50s and 60s and things, I don't know this woman worth of Adam, but this is Miranda Esmond White. This is my favorite lady to do in the morning. These exercises are wonderful. They're a great way before I start my actual regimen in the morning to get started. She is on in the morning on some channels, depending on where you live. I don't know what channel it would be. I suggest her so highly because 4 years ago when I was in a wreck, I needed physical therapy, and when I was going through physical therapy and I had to stop really exercising for a while, like heavy exercising, I found her. And, you know, I've been doing it ever since. My body feels like a rubber band. She does a lot for your posture. Posture is so important. Stretching is so important. She does mobility exercises. She uses the hands. She uses the feet, the toes, all these connections. And I'm very big into a full connection in the body of all kinds of things, because I believe that it's all, you know, we're attached in one way or the other, that it all ends up, you just can't do one thing without the other. So this is a very grounding exercise for me to do this in the morning, and I really suggest it. So her name is Miranda Esmond White. If anybody wants to look her up, I really highly suggest her. But, you know, it's just so important to stretch. As we get older, we stiffen. We lose a lot of muscle. We lose a lot. In a short amount of time, it just starts going. So these are the things that I do to stay young and anti-age. That's my number 8 tip, which is just talking about a few of the products and a few of the things that I do to add to these beauty tips. And so one of the number 1 things that I think that we need to do all the time, at least 3-4 times a week, you can actually do it every day also, but at least 3-4 times a week, is a brightening scrub. And this is by Acure. I only use 2 things from this line, but this is a nice brightening scrub. And I think exfoliating the skin and getting rid of all the dead skin cells is very important for anti-aging. I do think that that's for, as far as things, washing and facial things that you do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, that exfoliation is really important. I also like to use their eye cream. Now, this has been said to work kind of like, I don't know if people remember when people would use the Preparation H. This is supposed to be similar to that, and I do think that it's really rejuvenating eye cream. I do like it, and I do use that. I also use these Ayurveda products, and I use this floral water, which has a little glass thing that you put this in the cup and clean my eyes out. If you're a makeup wearer like I am, or people who wear contacts, things like that, this really works really well. I like to do it at night, and then my eyes feel really clear in the morning. And also they have some really great oils. This is one of my favorite oils, and it smells great. I love oils. Oils is one of my favorite things to use. And when I'm doing the facial massage, the best oil that I like to use is jojoba oil. Matter of fact, I'm getting real low on this. But this is supposed to be the same, like, pH level as your skin. And I think that jojoba oil is really, really good, and I love it for it. It has a good glide to it too. If you do facial massage and things, you want to have a really good glide, and this does have that. I also do actually use some sunblock. I don't wear sunblock every day, and I know that's some people's number one anti-aging thing is to use sunblock, but my sunblock, I believe, mostly comes from my food and things, and a lot of those things really help. But I do use the Mad Hippie products, and I do use this when I do go out in the sun. I only put my face in the sun for about 10 minutes, and I make sure that I use something. I also have this stick, which this is by Badger. This is a different company, but I do think that if you're going to go outside and sit in the sun, which I do, I am a sun person that likes to go out in the sun for at least maybe 30 minutes or so, 20 minutes. And so I do think that you should protect your skin on your face. And I also am a big fan of these facial patches. I've been using these for years. I don't use them anywhere but on my forehead. I love to use rose water when I use these. Some people just use regular water, but this rose water is by Heritage Store. I've been using this for years and always use it with the facial patches. The frownies are my favorite ones to use. I have used other kinds and don't like them because they ripple. So when I use these, they come in like this. Now, some people will put them all over. They're like, I only use these on my forehead. And this is because when we look up like this all the time and we get these wrinkles over our eyebrows. And so, you know, you stick them like that. And you kind of want to push the skin a little bit just so that you make sure that the skin is flat. And I really feel that all of these things also have an accumulative effect. When I talk about the facial yoga, the facial massage, and doing things like this kind of helps the muscle also and keep it in place. And if I didn't do it for like a night or so, I won't see a difference because it has that accumulative effect. And, you know, but if I didn't do it for a week or something, I would start to notice these muscles right here over my eyebrow, which is where I squint and do things. I will start to notice it looking a little bit more lax. So these are just certain things that I do, and I hope that people enjoy hearing these because I know that a lot of people ask about different products. This is my favorite night cream, which is the Mad Hippie, and these are my two best friends, the vitamin A and vitamin C. I'm a big fan of vitamin A and vitamin C for the skin. And then there's my favorite moisturizer, which I really don't use this just as a moisturizer. This is more of a makeup. I do not use makeup on my skin anymore. I know I wear makeup on my eyes and my lips and stuff, and I do my cheeks, but I don't use regular foundation. I just use it in spots, like a little spot foundation, and I use this as kind of like just to give my face sort of a glow, and it does make it seem more even. I love weleda. I've been using it for years. This is baby weleda, but it's very, very nice cream. So those are all of my little things that I do to help me to stay younger and feel my best. And I hope that this helps with some women out there that are struggling with some of these problems and things. And I'm just going to go ahead and read this is the word for today. And this is out of Psalms, and it's chapter 80, verse 3. And it says, "Restore us, O God, cause your face in shine, and we shall be saved." So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful, blessed day.